This is How to Borrow, the comprehensive guide on finances and loans. Learn everything you need to know about student loans and loan consolidations to finally get out of debt. Written by Everitt. Read by Tanya Neihardt. Introduction. Almost nothing in life is free, and loans are no different. Loans are basically a seemingly non-complicated way of lending and borrowing, but if one were to take the time to read the fine print, it could probably paint quite a scary picture. Get the help you need here. Chapter 1. Loan Basics. Synopsis. A loan is an advancement of money or something of value with the promise or a bargain struck between the parties involved to redeem the full sum with interest within a stipulated period of time. The basics. The interest is usually calculated proportionate to the sum borrowed and paid back along with the principal in segments for an agreed amount of time. The terms and interest amounts are usually not negotiable and in most cases are quite high. However, it is still the most popular means of acquiring something legally and legitimately where payment is not immediately completely covered. The general calculation of a loan would be that more is incurred the longer the period taken to pay off the initial sum borrowed, and even more will be added on to the agreed sum should the schedule of payment in place be not strictly kept. Therefore, any defaults will incur penalties that are in most cases even harder to make payments on. Although banks are the most popular avenues from which to seek out a loan, there are also other lending establishments that function solely for the purpose of facilitating loan agreements. Most of these are legal and with strict rules in place with proper accompanying documentation. However, there are also loan facilities that can be gotten from shady sources, which can sometimes be quite dangerous and definitely without the proper processes in place. There are two very basic types of loans, which are the secured one and the unsecured one. The secured ones are based on some kind of acceptable collateral being offered in place of the loan, which may include anything of value such as property, stocks, bonds, and others, and the unsecured one doesn't offer anything. Chapter 2. Business Loans. Synopsis. The basics of a business loan is very similar to that of other types of loans, which is the agreement struck between parties to lend a stipulated amount for a business, whereupon payment is returned with interest to the borrower over a fixed period of time. For business. These loans can be gotten from different sources, of which banks are usually featured as the first choice, as they generally do not own any part of the business and are just in the agreement to make money through the interest earned on the principal amount lent. There are also equity investors, involving establishments or individuals who are willing to lend a sum of money in return for a vested interest in the business, which usually comes in the form of shares in the said business. The main difference between the two is that the former does not have any direct involvement in the business and only requires for the principal sum borrowed to be returned in full with interest paid over an agreed amount of time, whereas the latter may sometimes incur the involvement of the lender, and though no payment is required for the sum borrowed, the lender now legally has a share in the business entity. The promissory note is usually a document that is signed and witnessed in a legal setting, whereby loan amounts, payment requirements, interest charged, time frames, and any other agreed-upon demands are clearly stated in the documentation. The repayment of such promissory notes, otherwise referred to as loans, can be made in different methods, which are agreed upon at the onset of the loan. These may include the following: lump sum payments, periodic interest and lump sum repayment of principal, periodic payment of principal and interest, amortized payments with a
Sample complete. Ready to continue?